don't be mean to me today, Ari.
Is this not an offer with Vinny's name on it?
Yes, it is. I apologize.
What's wrong with you?
Tom broke up with me.
Oh, Jesus.
What is up, Entourage fans? We are back with another episode of Oh Yeah, the Entourage podcast. I am your host, J.R. Hitty, coming to you from San Francisco, California. Really fun, energetic episode of the show this week. I had my coworker, author, writer, online personality, Connor Toole on. He and I went deep on episode 6 of season 4, the WeHo Ho. Had a lot of fun. Connor came to the table with tons of great theories, tons of great research, just the passion from this guy. It's a really fun episode. I really am going to look forward to hearing how you guys liked it. If you haven't checked out all the podcasts that are being launched on BroBible as of late, please do. Robbie Berger's podcast, Brilliantly Dumb. Check out his feed. He just interviewed the guy who shot Osama bin Laden, incredibly enough. He interviewed Jimmy Tatro from The Real Bros of Simi Valley, which is one of my favorite shows currently out right now, season 3 on Facebook Watch. BroBible sponsors this podcast. They've been very good to us, and there's a lot of fun shit coming down the pipe in terms of what's going to happen in this podcast. Stay tuned for that. I'm currently in New York this week. If anyone's in New York, wants to grab a drink, hit me up, slide into my DMs. I'm at JR Will Do It on Instagram and Twitter. Keep those 5-star reviews coming. Don't forget to check out the Spotify playlist. Have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you guys next Monday. My guest this week is an editor at BroBible, the author of the book Millennials of New York, and for one night in 2015, an NBA second-round draft pick by the Utah Jazz. Dialing in from New York City, Connor Toole. Welcome to the Entourage podcast.
JR, thank you so much for having me. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
And before we dive in, you just finished watching the Entourage movie.
Yeah, which, funny enough, I just watched the episode we're going to talk about on HBO and then went to watch the movie. And for some reason, HBO did not get the distribution rights, so I just rented it for $4 on Amazon.
Oh, I feel terrible. Holy shit. They had it for the longest time, but why didn't they get the distribution rights to that movie? That made zero sense.
But yeah, I just spent an hour and 50 minutes watching it, and I can tell you nothing about the plot whatsoever. That is how just mediocre that movie is. But I loved it, but just because of the celebrity cameos, just like Liam Neeson and Julian Edelman showing up, it was just a nice menagerie of random people.
Fear you not, oh yeah, listeners. When we get to the end of this marathon that we're on, we are going to dedicate quite a few episodes of Oh Yeah to the Entourage movie. We have to. It's a work of art that will exist forever.
It's truly insane. Yeah, I mean, it's a time capsule is what it really is. It's just going back 5 years. Like, for me, Ronda Rousey's a movie star. And my biggest fear was that there was a rumor that she was going to relaunch or reboot Roadhouse.
Oh,
and thankfully, she got the hell beat out of her in a match. And eventually they just canceled the project, and I was so relieved.
Yeah, not thankful that she got the hell beat out of her, but thankful that the project...
No, the end product of that occurrence was my savior. I was like, you're going to go against Patrick Swayze, like, the nerve of that's just karma striking back at you.
I'm stealing this line from a famous comedian, Matt Fulcheron, but he says, for any movie that's a sequel to a Patrick Swayze movie, he goes, no Swayze, no Wazy.
Exactly.
So, Connor, I mean... You just watched the movie. You've watched the episode we're talking about today, episode 6 of season 4, the WeHo Ho. What has your Entourage experience been like? When did you first start watching it?
Entourage ended my sophomore year of college. So we couldn't afford HBO. And at some point, one of my roommates got their parents log in. And I probably finished the series in 6 weeks. Like, it was just one of those things where it was episode after episode. And I was just like, I want to be these dudes. I want to go to LA. And I mean, I did the cliche improv and sketch in college.
Yep.
And so it was like, oh, maybe I can make it an entertainment. Never did, but it was one of those just fantasies you had. And it was just a fun ride.
Fun ride that we're still going on to this day. 7, 8 years after the show.
Riding the wave today with you.
Why don't we dive in?
Swayze, it's like Point Break. I'm just surfing along.
Love it. So why don't we dive into this week's episode, the WeHo
All right.
Ho.
Yeah, it was an interesting one.
Definitely an interesting one. So this episode debuted on Sunday, July 22nd, 2007. Just the day before, on July 21st, a famous book was released. Connor, you're an author. Do you have any idea what book I'm talking about?
What year was it again?
2007, middle of the summer, released on a Saturday.
No idea.
It was the last book in a famous series of books.
Again, no. Oh, was it a Hunger Games book?
No, it is
Then I got nothing.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Oh, okay. The second part.
Seventh and final novel of the Harry Potter series was released in the United States, UK, and Canada. It shattered sales records upon release. It surpassed March.
It is the last book that I did not read after reading the previous 6.
Just never read it then.
Yeah, no, it was just I was like, all right, well, it's been a fun ride, but it was a lot of pages, and I had other things to do with my life.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that book's like 800 pages.
Yeah, they just got progressively bigger. It's just
I know.
like, all right, I can only do so much here.
It still holds the Guinness World Record for most novels sold within 24 hours.
Good for JK.
I know, man. 8 million sold in the US, 3 million sold in the UK. J.K. Rowling, you deserve all your billions and your weird personality on Twitter.
Your problematic Twitter feed.
So, quick recap of this week's episode of Entourage. Ari must convince Lloyd to come back to work after Lloyd has a nasty breakup with Tom. Walsh and E make up before making a questionable impression on Dana Gordon. And Turtle's shady cousin Ronnie makes Drama and Turtle an offer they can't refuse. Connor, what was your favorite moment from this week's episode?
There were a lot to pick from, but my favorite is, I think it really centers around Lloyd breaking up with his boyfriend. And there is a scene early on in the agency where he is just at the desk, essentially just catatonic. Uh-huh. And Ari's like, what's going on? And he's like, it's Tom, we broke up. And Lloyd starts to flee the office, and yep. Ari's like, where are you going? And Lloyd goes, I have this quote here. Without Tom, my life is empty. An empty vase. Tom was a flower. He was a rose. A bright red rose in the massive oil spill of life. And without him, everything is just gooky. And just the moment of eloquence from Lloyd, who is just at the center of abuse the entire time, just seeing him to launch into this sort of poetic summary of his view on life was just a really nice pivot from his normal personality.
I 100% had the exact same moment. It's a little bit later. It's a little bit like this. You've got like the beginning of that whole sequence. It's later after Vince, E, and Walsh kind of like make up, but Ari chases Lloyd through the office and he's screaming his name.
Wow, would you look at that? Love is in the air, huh? Is this beautiful or what, Lloyd? Come and join us in a group hug. Could be a while before you get some. Oh, come on, I was just teasing, Lloyd. It was a joke. I'll be right back. Lloyd! Lloyd!
They don't fuck each other, do they?
Come on, I was just trying to cheer you up, Lloyd.
There is no cheering me up, Ari. My life is over.
It's not over.
Yes, it is. Without Tom, my life is empty.
Lloyd.
An empty vase.
Why a vase?
Because Tom was a flower. He was, Ari. He was a rose. A bright red rose in the massive oil spill of life. And without him, everything is just gooky. Don't laugh at me,
I'm
Ari.
not laughing, Lloyd, but gooky is funny.
I need to take a leave of absence.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I am.
Lloyd, you're a rising star in this company. No time for maternity leave.
Sorry, Ari.
Lloyd, you're gonna set yourself back years. What will I do?
It's a very, very good performance by both Rexley and Jeremy Piven. Just a perfect insight into their like fucked up relationship.
And it's so funny because that's Ari's rare moment of vulnerability, where he claims to rely on no one, and all of a sudden it's like, Lloyd, you are my anchor.
Yeah, you literally keep like this machine going, and I don't know what I'm going to do. He basically has like a breakdown as he's chasing after him, which I loved. So
Yeah, it's a rare moment of vulnerability for him, which is few and far between in Entourage.
And sadly, I think that's one of the few good moments in this episode, of which there are few and far between good moments. But we'll talk about that.
I would agree.
Yeah. What was your favorite bros being bros moment this week, Connor?
So this for me is every group of friends has gone through this, where you have some internal strife where someone hates someone for hating someone else and loving the person that hates someone else. And in this case, it's when Ari, Vinny, E, and Billy are trying to come together to make Lost in the Clouds. And they just clash and clash and clash. And all of a sudden, Billy comes out. He's like, hey, you know what? We fight a lot, but you know what? We're family. Let's climb this mountain together, and we're going to kill it.
I love Lost in the Clouds, Vin. I read that book 4 times. I could shoot the shit out of that thing.
We don't doubt that.
Okay, now, so, are we gonna make this movie? We're gonna go talk to Dana Gordon? What do you say, boys?
E?
Come on, as much as we fight, you know I think of you and Vinny as family. You want to climb this mountain together? We'll kill it.
Sure.
Come here, you motherfucker.
And that's the thing. At the end, the ultimate bro moment is the most important thing is to keep the squad together. It's like, you know what? We have our differences, but been through so much. We've been for it for so long. We got to keep doing this.
Yeah, and up until this point, we haven't seen any cut of Medellin or any indication that, like, people are going to hate it. So you're in your mind, you're like, yeah, let's just keep this good thing going, which sadly turns into a mistake towards the end of the season. But
it's going to win an Oscar in this episode, though. Everyone's going to win an Oscar. So
apparently, everyone's winning an Oscar according to Billy Walsh. It's insane. In retrospect, it's insane. It's funny because guys, they just have that deer. You can just shift into a deer. You can hate another guy's guts, and as long as you just do like, hey man, I'm really sorry, I fucked up, I'm stupid. Little handshake, it dissipates so quickly.
It's just the handshake is the handshake and the preceding hug. That's the ultimate moment of reconciliation.
It's nice. It's a nice moment. I will also say, and it's more like a familial moment as opposed to a bros being bros moment, but Drama is giving Turtle a hard time about going along on this ridiculous scam by his uncle Ronnie, or his cousin Ronnie.
Cousin Ronnie, yeah.
Of course. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail, but Turtle says,
all right, look, Drama, I don't feel great about this either, but if we don't buy it, somebody else will. Besides, I can't let Ronnie down. You know how many times he gave my mother money when my father wouldn't? If I don't do it, he won't be able to. So if you still want him for half, you got it.
It's such an insight into Turtle's childhood, too, where it's like, my father hated my mother, so she reached out to my cousin and got a lot of money.
And it's also like you're kind of enabling a bad person. One of those things you're like, well, you know, he is my brother, so I'll still keep giving him drugs or something. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, you're not helping anything, Turtle. But in your fucked up head, if that's how you can like justify this, like do that. Fine. What was your least favorite moment of the suite? If you want, I can start if you'd like.
So I mean, I don't really have a least. Nothing really stuck out for me. So if I had to pick one, it was Sandy Koufax was the center of the Jersey scheme that Turtle, Drama, and Cousin Ronnie were going through. And so for me, I mean, this was basically a middle school book with a dog where Sandy Koufax's dog dies at the end. So, like, that's just a downer. It didn't stick out. I was like, oh, I hated this thing. But it's like, did we really need a dead dog in Entourage? Like, that's just killing the mood.
Yeah. At least it's not a dead Sandy Koufax, but still at the same time, like, yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. We'll talk a little bit more about Sandy and the overall plot in a second. I think what I didn't like, you know, we just talked about bros being bros. Billy, he's so contrite and apologetic at Ari's office. He's begging E and Vince to do Lost in the Clouds. And then they go to meet the head of production on that exact film, and he's a fucking prick to everybody. He's yelling at her assistant. He takes a shit in Dana's bathroom.
Hi, guys. I'm really sorry, but I called Ari's office earlier this morning and asked if the meeting could be pushed back an hour. I'm really sorry no one told you. I hope that's okay.
Actually, little lady, it ain't. So would you please call Dana and tell her that I gotta be at the track at 4:15, so she better hustle on down here or I will be gone.
Is this how they run shit down at Ari's shop?
Relax, I'm calling.
I get it. He's like a tragic artist who like isn't very social or sociable. But I just didn't like that juxtaposition so quickly after him like making up with the guys.
Yeah, no, I would feel the same way.
And then one quick thing, and this is just probably me nitpicking as I'm the host of a weekly Entourage podcast. The name of the episode, not one of the stronger named episodes of the show.
I sat there for minutes saying, what is a WeHo Ho? I'm still lost. I'm sure there's like some deep dive if you go into an Entourage subreddit where they're like, here's the underlying meaning of this vaguely titled episode that relates to Plato's allegory of the cave. And it's just like, all right, sure, whatever you say.
So WeHo is West Hollywood, which I assume is where Lloyd lives, and then Ho is Lloyd. Is that what that's supposed to mean? I'm not like.
I don't know. Because Ari obviously he refers to Lloyd's preference for being a bit promiscuous a few times, but I still had trouble interpreting it.
And I'm not forgiving Lloyd for cheating, but up until this point, he's been nothing but an angel, and now we're going to call him a hoe in the title of the episode. It just felt like really, I don't know. It's kind of an over-examination.
I'll get to this later because I am very anti-cheating, but I do want to mention Lloyd's aspect of this.
All right. Well, let's keep it moving then. So what was the most Entourage moment of the episode? Connor, that can mean anything.
This was easy for me. They're in Danny Gordon's office. They're waiting there for a while, and Dana finally comes in after the meeting gets delayed. Go into her office, and Vinny just casually waves at her secretary or assistant, and I don't even know if he made eye contact, and she just melts.
Oh, it's great.
It's just it's vintage Vinny. It's like this dude he owns Hollywood. Like he can just glance or not even glance at a woman and she's in love. So it just sums up that general environment.
Yeah, no, that's a great little moment that you don't catch every time you're rewatching the show, but in watching it so closely, Connor, like you see that all the time where like women are like whipping their heads at Vince as he walks by and trying to get in front of him and trying to make eye contact. They do a really good job of it, and it's something I didn't notice when I used to watch the show when I was 19 years old. It just went over my head because I was too busy focusing on the guys, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, exactly.
The second one, or my Entourage moment this week, is Billy, Vince, and E are walking out of Dana's office. So these happened very close to each other, and Billy is putting on driving gloves. And
he didn't really before he gets into the car.
Yeah, you didn't notice it?
No, I was focusing on the fact that he stole the car from his girlfriend's dad.
Billy, are you sure you can have a shootable script done in 6 weeks?
Oh, no doubt. I came up with the first act while I was stinking up the skirt's bathroom. Promise me you won't take a job that could interfere.
I promise.
Beautiful. Whoa! Billy, nice car. Yeah, it's my girl's father's. You're not the only one mooching luxury items off somebody's suit. Later. Late.
A red 2006 Saleen's S7. Like, I don't even know cars, but that car was fucking absurd.
Compared to the Bentley they were driving next to him, he was just flexing on them. It was like, good for Billy Walsh, man.
I know. He mooches his way to the top. $55 million movie budget based off of 1.5 movies that he's made. What was your favorite line or quote from this week's episode, Connor?
This was the easiest thing in the world. Billy goes into Dana's office. They're waiting for her. And he turns to the girl. He goes,
"Listen, you mind if I use your private shitter? I just got to piss, but the one in the hallway stank like a refugee boat."
Sure, go ahead. He's quite a character.
Yeah. He's all bluster, but he knows exactly what he's doing.
Well, it's kind of weird. I mean, he's foul and grotesque. Conceited and abhorrent. But I kind of like him.
And the thing that elevates this is when they're walking to the car with him with his driving gloves on, he admits he actually took a dump in the bathroom, which just took it to another level. Yeah. And my favorite sort of tangential moment from that is when Billy says that, Dana's like, she describes him as, quote, foul, grotesque, conceited, and abhorrent.
Yep.
Which is the summation of Billy Walsh, but also kind of describes a solid chunk of the series in general. Where it's like, like a lot of these people are not good people at heart, But
Yeah.
like she goes, I actually kind of like him. And that's what Entourage is to a certain extent.
That's the soft lens, is what it is.
Everyone's not as bad as Billy Walsh, but at the same time, it's all these personalities are like, yeah, this is Hollywood. It was a very interesting, and I probably read way too much into it.
Well, that's the point of this.
Exactly.
There is something interesting about that theory that, like, in real life, these guys would not be great dudes.
No, absolutely not.
We've always talked like how Turtle would be the ultimate scumbag. E would be such a dickhead. There's just so many, like, you can see it in real life, and you're like,
if I
like this.
If I can interject for a brief second, I used to work at a job where most of the founders were from Queens.
Got it.
And I've never appreciated Turtle more than seeing how authentic that is. Like, these guys from Queens, it's just like that's Turtle. Like, it's just the culture. I mean, and Turtle, say what you will about him, but like they did a fantastic job encapsulating the essence of the borough of Queens.
And I'm not from Queens or grew up on the East Coast, so I'm glad to hear that they were accurate in that.
And we'll mention this with Cousin Ronnie later in a little bit.
Yeah.
But
can't wait.
Yeah, no, it's a nice little storyline.
Faces in the crowd for sure. All right, 2 more lines I have to call out. First one is from Cousin Ronnie.
Hey, congrats on the show.
You been watching?
I have. It's terrible. Hey, but I heard the networks pay big bucks, so who gives a fuck, right?
But the networks pay big bucks.
That's right. Who gives a fuck, right? And then Billy Walsh, as he's being apologetic, he's contrite. He's basically on one knee in front of E, Vinny, and Ari. He
comes bringing peace.
I'm waving the white flag, Sue.
Why?
Because I was wrong and I'm sorry.
So you're admitting I didn't leak the trailer?
I am.
That's why he came here this morning. He said that you wouldn't call him back, though.
Well, he sent me an email at 4 a.m. threatening to kill me.
Yeah, then at 5 a.m., my editor called and told me that he got pissed at his girl last week and put a video of him giving her a facial on comefiesta.com. She got back at him with my trailer, our trailer.
You're a real asshole, you know that?
I'm man enough to admit when I've been acting like one.
Hey, Connor, I did a little bit of research. Guess what website still exists 13 years later?
It would happen to be comefiesta.com.
It just so happens.
Good for them. I mean, that requires a lot of maintenance because, I mean, I have a couple of websites. That's like, and with the servers and everything,
Yeah.
like, I mean, like, I respect the dedication to that, especially with all the competitions that's popped up in the past decade. I mean,
Yeah, a porn server going back 13 years is probably the size of like a airplane hangar or something like that.
I was recently researching, and I think Lemon Party and Meat Spin are now defunct.
They are.
Because someone
yes.
decided to stop paying for it. So for Come Fiesta to fall through, you know what? Like, I don't know who did it, but like I give them a lot of respect for their dedication.
Come Fiesta still going strong. What was the best burn this week?
Oh, this was, you mentioned the one before where Ronnie rags on Drama for his shitty show.
Sure.
But for me, it was when they were walking into the auction and Turtle's like,
Stop looking at me like that.
We were never guys who were about money, Turtle. We were always guys who were about integrity.
Is that what got you to do that commercial where you and your wife had a bad case of the runs at the opera?
That was a national spot. And I got a chance to show a lot of range.
which is just vintage drama.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, with Viking Quest and everything, he's like, yeah, I'm really showing my versatility here. And I just love how delusional he is. And like, I know a lot of people that have done like UCB and acting classes, and I follow them on Twitter and I'm friends with them on Facebook. And it's like, hey, like, here's my new ad for vitamins that's airing regionally in the Atlanta area. And it's like, you know, like cool, good for you. But like, be honest with yourself, which drama never is.
Yeah, it's funny. I've mentioned my day job on this podcast often, but I make TV commercials, and I'm flying to New York this weekend. Once this episode drops, I'm already going to be in New York. But Monday and Tuesday is casting sessions for this 30-second TV commercial. So I'm going to sit there and see probably 100 actors and actresses, and I will have the ability to give them a national TV spot, which is weirdly a lot of power and also weirdly a little strange, because it's not going to change their life. It's not going to, they're not going to get picked up by an Ari Gold and become movie or TV stars, but it's going to keep that flame alive for them.
So for you to totally flex on me right now, when I was doing Millennials of New York, we had a web series as well. And one of the girls that I was talking about who earned her vitamin commercial, I casted to be in one of our videos in a web series.
Yeah, nice.
So I don't want to brag about maybe propelling her to semi-regional fame, but I don't know. Maybe it could have happened.
Could happen to anybody. Everyone listening, quit your job and do it. Like the biggest crapshoot in the world, like Hollywood. There's some good little Ari things. He sees like Lloyd like super sad, and he just goes, "Hey, dumb fuck." And then that new assistant that he gets, I think his name is Glenn. Throwback
who he fired from the mailroom.
Fired from the mailroom in season 2. Throwback. He says, "Get out of here, Glenn, or else I will kill you." just
good for Glenn for getting multiple Entourage episodes on his IMDb, though.
Definitely, dude.
That's
like 4 years
a
apart.
resume booster. Yeah, he can say recurring character in Entourage when he goes to audition, which is good for him.
Yeah, and he's part of one of the most iconic Ari Gold scenes, so that'll live on in infamy.
Oh, absolutely.
Long after Glenn's dead.
Hopefully not too soon.
Yeah.
I need a fucking assistant!
As I was saying, Mr. Gold, I'm Glenn. Glenn Holden. I'm gonna come off Eric Siegel's desk and
how do I know you?
You fired me from the mailroom 2 years ago, but then you realized you were wrong, so you hired me back. I can get the job done. Just tell me what you like.
No, I don't tell you what I like. My old assistant is supposed to tell you what I like, and then he is supposed to seamlessly train you so that the only change in my life comes when I have to write out a Christmas bonus check.
Okay, Mr. Gold, please look at. I'm just gonna
get out of here, Glenn.
Where do you want me to go?
Anywhere but here, or I will kill you.
Do you want me to get you someone else?
No, I only want Lloyd, and I will get him myself.
So we talked about it a little bit. You mentioned it off air, but not a great episode for music. We both love Scott's.
I love Scott. Really let me down this episode.
I know.
I think there was one song by the Gems, and I looked at the lyrics, and I could not find a deeper internal meaning of it. It was kind of a jam, but I mean, Scott can only do so much here.
As most listeners know, we have a Spotify playlist. The link to listen to that is in the show notes of today's episode. We put all of our favorite songs that we talked about on that playlist. I liked the Mark Ronson song, Pretty Green, featuring Santa Gold. It's when Ari's driving up to Lloyd's apartment.
Got a pocket full of pretty green. I'm gonna put it in a fruit machine. I'm gonna put it in a jukebox. It's gonna play all the records in the hit parade.
Hello?
Living large, Lloyd. Looks like I'm paying you too much.
I have family money, Ari, and it hasn't affected my work ethic at all, so don't make fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you, Lloyd. I'm here because I need you back. Listen, the best way to get over a breakup is a distraction, and the best distraction is work.
Work is the reason we broke up, Ari.
I'm kind of like a sucker for catchy shit, though, so I don't know. That. And then Sinner Man by Nina Simone, which played over the end credits, which is a very good jam, and I have listened to recently, so it was good to hear a song that like aged well, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the end credits are where you show your cards, and that was a great way to close it out.
And boy, does Scott show his cards. Scott, if you're listening, let's do it, man. Let's just sit down and talk about the music of Entourage.
You won't, Scott. You won't.
You won't. What was an outdated reference in this episode?
So this was tough for me because I don't think it would be much different if it was made today. And my only thing was Lloyd's situation with his boyfriend, Tom.
Yeah.
And because Ari gives him a cover story where he was at the Bourne Ultimatum premiere with him instead of cheating on the guy who was cheating on the Friday night he's talking about. But like for me, it's like I would see like Tom would be stalking his Instagram to see if he posted a selfie at the premiere, or creeping on Snapchat to see his location that night and seeing he wasn't there when he said he was. But besides that, I think it probably would have played out about the same way that it did.
100%. That's a great point. If this episode was different in 2020, it would be all digital cheating in some way. That's
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, the idea of Tom going and parking outside of wherever he was supposed to be, that's like a very
the Abbey. It was the Abbey, which is I assume a cool spot in LA in 2010 or whatever this was.
I think it is in 2007. Yeah, I honestly don't know.
7, yeah, no. The series ended in 2011, so my timeline is entirely off, and I apologize.
No, it's quite all right. It's not up to you to remember the timeline of Entourage, but boy, is it up to me. Because if I did it wrong, someone is going to tell me. So yeah, I think for outdated reference, I guess Sandy Koufax, because, like, he's old, but he's one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history, and the very best part about the entire thing is that he's still alive and well today, like in 2020.
He's 84 today. I just looked this up. Yeah, like, good for him for sticking around, man.
I know. You think when you see like them be like, oh, thank God Sandy's still alive. In 2007, I was like, oh, this guy's definitely dead. But no, he's one of only 5 pitchers elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame who has more strikeouts than innings pitched.
Did you just go on Elias Sports for that? Did you did you get a subscription to go deep into the dive of baseball history?
Yeah, it's actually a free service. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Wikipedia.com. That's what I do, man. That's what I do. And then some outdated references, just like the fact that Tom's working at Finish Line. I know they still exist.
I have so much to say about this after that, so
let's hear it. What I actually used to work at Foot Locker, so they were like our.
Do you still have the ref outfit?
I'm so upset that I don't. I got rid of it.
Oh, that would. I have a buddy who worked at Best Buy in high school, and he has gone multiple times on Halloween wearing his Best Buy polo. It's one of those just nostalgic things that when you pull it out, or the retro things, and it's just like, wow, you just stunted on everyone.
I did a series of social media things with Panda Express, and part of it was we had to go work at a Panda Express for 4 hours, so I still have a full apron, hat, red t-shirt combo,
my God,
which is going to be busted out this Halloween.
Killing me. Good for you.
What do you have about Finish Line?
I would first like to address the people that popped up in this episode before we segue there.
Okay. All right,
if we can.
Quickly, I wanted to say one more thing I thought would be different if it aired in 2020.
Oh, absolutely.
So whatever the scam that Cousin Ronnie came to them with, it would be something a lot more modern. It'd be some sort of multi-level marketing thing. Like, Ronnie would be like, hey, Drama, you are a broadcast television star. Here is my Life Plus Nature's Sunshine supplements. Please push these on social media. For every sign up you get, I did it'd be some bullshit like that.
Well, it'd be Turtle with all his get rich quick shit. He'd just be like, all right, who's going to make me an influencer? How can I branch myself out and rake it as much? Can fuck Jerry, give me some money to boost their memes. I feel like that would be Turtle's hustle now.
100%. Okay. Faces in the crowd. Do you want to talk about Tom or Cousin Ronnie first?
Brandon fucking Quinn. Brandon fucking Quinn. I forgot about him until he popped up on screen. This is Tom, Lloyd's boyfriend.
Yep.
For those uninitiated, the dude from Big Wolf on Campus.
So I don't know what that show is.
Oh my God. I think it was on whatever the equivalent of ABC Family was in the late 90s and early 2000s, about a really hot guy on a college campus who also turns into a werewolf.
So it's Teen Wolf, but he's not a teen, he's a young adult.
Yeah, it's just without Michael J. Fox, and they ripped off the entire plot.
Okay.
And I ended up getting way too into Brandon's IMDb page to see what he's been up to lately. He was apparently in a Hallmark movie this year called Christmas Wishes and Mistletoe Kisses, which could be... he was. And that could be a line from Kanye's So Appalled, the way that it rhymes. And to be honest, I am a Hallmark Christmas movie aficionado, and I watched it, and it's actually one of the best movies they put out last year.
You watched this movie before you found out that he was in it?
Oh yeah, like a few months ago. I think Hallmark put about 55 Christmas movies out over the last 3 months preceding Christmas.
They were all on Hulu at one point, and I was all
oh my God. It's a guilty pleasure for me. We could start a podcast based on this if we wanted to.
Sure.
It was one of the better ones, and while I was on his IMDb page, I did a deep dive and found that 21 people had left reviews of a Hallmark movie.
Wow.
Which was very disturbing. And
That's insane.
They were multiple paragraphs long, and it was yeah, it was quite a discovery to make.
Yeah, people love their stuff. I'm realizing that the most from this podcast. And that's fine. If your thing is Hallmark Christmas movies, you do you. Write scathing reviews of it online if you want to, but it's a little head scratching to me.
I respect the middle America following where they're just like, I need to go on the internet and let people know this was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where
100%.
This was a good movie where a guy or a girl from the big city goes back to her hometown and finds a man and falls in love and doesn't want to go back, which is every single movie. So I'm glad they all have opinions on the nuances of them.
So Brandon Quinn, this actor, he did 63 episodes of Bid Wolf on Campus. He was the star of it. He's been in, this is the first we see him, but he'll be in 6 more episodes of Entourage. Like, he's really a good working TV actor who's still working to this day. He's got a TV show in post-production right now. Like,
I respect the hell out of the hustle. And if you can give me one more shout out, if that's all right.
Well, 100%.
So the guy who played Cousin Ronnie, is named Louis Lombardi.
Oh, he's so New York.
50 grand, huh?
And I'm letting you in on this because you're my blood and I love you. And I can only raise 30 grand on my own because the IRS, those cocksuckers, froze my assets again.
And so you need 20 grand then?
What are you, Rayman? That's what I just told you. So did you bring it or what?
I got it. It's a check. It's good.
There you go.
Last of my Saigon money.
Just what is this investment already?
Baseball memorabilia.
Baseball memorabilia?
Not just any baseball memorabilia. I'm talking about a Sandy Koufax game-used home jersey from '66.
50 grand for a jersey?
That ain't shit, drama. It's gonna be worth twice as much as that, at least.
How do you know?
My father, the prick, is obsessed with Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
He bought a condo in St. Paul's because Sandy was living in the same development.
So?
So, my father, the demented fuck that he is, makes his tea time the same as Sandy's every Wednesday.
So what, Ronnie?
So Sandy hasn't teed off in weeks.
Wait, I don't follow. Why not?
Jesus Christ, you guys are fucking slow, huh? Sandy's finished. He's done. His place is a hospice. White coats coming and going for the last 2 weeks. Just a matter of time.
Sandy Koufax is gonna die?
Jesus Christ, that's terrible.
Yeah, indeed it is.
Yeah, so he was on a few episodes of The Soprano.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I went to his IMDb page, and I would say at least half of the people he played have laughably on the nose Italian names. But I really want to congratulate him for just getting out of his comfort zone and playing an Italian American from Queens. 'Cause that's a real departure from his general consensus.
Oh man, I'm looking at his IMDb right now. Oh, you're so right. Stan Travato, Dominic DeFazio, Archie Stucky Fine, Uncle Jerry Velvino.
And if I can introduce my last fun fact.
Let's hear it.
Both Brandon and Louis, or Louis, I assume it's probably Louis, have been on CSI because of course they were.
Of course they are. I mean, that's like if you haven't been on CSI, you are not an actor in New York.
Have you really made it? Exactly. Was Timothy Chalamet on CSI? I doubt it.
It's a good question, actually.
He probably like played like a witness to a high school girl being murdered, like knowing him.
That's a good like trivia question. Was Timothy Chalamet ever on CSI? And you know what? He wasn't, but you know what he was on? Law and Order.
No, he wasn't. No way.
Yep.
Oh my God.
His third acting job. Good for Timmy. Get that paper. All right. So that was a really fun Faces in the Crowd. We never usually have that much fun with it. So thank you for bringing the heat on that one. Sixth Man. I know you know the category well. Who like just showed up on screen? And I mean, honestly,
this is easy.
It's Ronnie.
No. It's Tommy.
All right,
it's Tom. It's Tom. Tom is on screen for 2 minutes when Ari comes to Foot Locker.
Yeah,
or to finish line.
Please, I was a Foot Locker.
Yeah, no disrespect. He says he can't talk to Ari like face to face because he's on probation at Finish Line. So he has to take him to the rack of shoes and act like they're having a conversation. And there's a point where Ari's like, hey, you don't want a guy who's, unlike Lloyd, sitting in bed and watching Oprah at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
And Tom goes, actually, Ari, Oprah's on at 3 p.m.
It's a well delivered line, but it's also a early 2000s writer's room joke. Like,
Exactly. Oh, absolutely.
It's like all days know when Oprah's on. It's like, really?
Can I talk to you for a second? Yeah, over here. Look, I'm already on Finish Line probation, so I gotta make myself look busy. What are you, 7.5, 8?
11, Tom.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what, he send you down here?
No, I came down here on my own. I heard a lot about your problems with Lloyd, that he's never home, that he's too career-oriented.
You gonna tell me he's not?
No, he is. But let me ask you something, though, man. Do you want a guy who's gonna provide a great home for you, or some coos who's on the couch every day watching Oprah at 4 o'clock?
Oprah's on at 3, Ari. And look, yeah, I do hate Lloyd's hours. Take a seat. But, I'm a guy. I understand career goals.
So what's the problem?
The problem is he couldn't keep his dick in his pants. He cheated on me, Ari.
No. Lloyd cheated on you? No, he didn't. He would never. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's true. I caught him.
In the act? Like, he was...
Well, no, I didn't catch him in the act. But, I was suspicious Friday night. He said he was going down on the Abbey. Parked my car out front. He never showed. Never. I confronted him, and, he said that he didn't want to be interrogated like that.
But it just summed up his, like, again, he had maybe 2 to 3 minutes on screen.
Yeah.
And he stole them.
Yeah. All right. You're giving it to Tom. I'm giving it to Cousin Ronnie.
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree. No, he was my second contender.
Super funny. He's like describing the situation. He keeps saying my father the prick, which is it's just funny. And at one point he's describing the scam or whatever, 50 grand, I can only come up with 30. And Drama goes, oh, so you need 20 grand. Ronnie goes, what are you, Rain Man? What I just said. Nice.
The $10,000 math.
Yeah. So I don't give it to Cousin Ronnie. I like seeing him. He comes back in Return to Queens Boulevard, the season 6 finale, iconic Entourage episode. Cannot wait to break it down.
Also, a fun footnote is when Ronnie is stressing the Sandy Koufax uniform, he shows up to the auction in a Brooklyn Dodgers uniform.
Yeah.
And he's wearing number 42, who is Jackie Robinson, not Sandy Koufax.
I missed that. Nice catch.
Yeah, which, I went too into Wikipedia for that, but I thought it was an interesting thing. And also for me, if you just give me a second here.
Of course.
Both Cousin Ronnie and Turtle were born after the Dodgers left New York.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're just diehard.
And Turtle, throughout the series, wears a Yankees hat despite being from Queens. And Drama wears a Lenny Diskra jersey when he's at the auction. So it's just this weird combination of sports fandom that I can't really figure out why it is what it is.
Well, that's because, and I know this because I'm the host of the Entourage podcast, Kevin Dillon is a huge Mets fan while Jerry Ferrara is a massive Yankees fan. So
it's like he's like the Matt Damon and Gone Girl where he demanded he wear the Red Sox hat. Oh, what an asshole.
Yeah, and famously, Kevin Connolly is a Yankees fan. There's a couple allusions to it. At one point, Drama and Turtle in a previous episode are saying, but it's Bat Day, Vince. And he's like, oh, we got to read these scripts. And they're like, I guess that's fine. It's not the Yankees are in town. And Kevin Dillon goes, or the Mets. And they all go, who cares about the Mets? As they're walking off screen. It's like a nice homage to their actual real life allegiances.
And like I alluded to a little before, all the kids that I worked with from Queens were like Mets or die. So it's just bizarre to me that these guys that are around Queens Boulevard are like, oh yeah, we're rooting for the guys in the Bronx. All right, I mean, good for you, but that makes literally no sense whatsoever, but good for Doug Elin for ignoring all of that.
Definitely. What was your favorite drama moment from this week, Connor?
Easily, this might be my favorite drama moment ever.
Wow.
Is when Turtle comes in and they ask if anyone wants to, or he asks if anyone wants to go to Palmdale with him to meet Cousin Ronnie.
Anyone interested in driving out to Palmdale with me to see my cousin Ronnie?
No.
Haven't we been through this already, Turtle?
I'm telling you guys, he says he has a little money-making venture, and in my house, when Cousin Ronnie talks like E.F. Hutton, you better fucking listen.
Why do you have so much confidence in this guy again?
Are you kidding, Vin? You know the guy always knew how to make a buck. You don't remember? He's the first guy on our block to have a foreign car. The first guy to have an in-ground pool. The first guy to have aluminum siding.
You're the first guy to have it all seized by the government.
Yeah, that's because he didn't pay his taxes, not because he wasn't rolling in the green.
All right, what's the investment opportunity?
Nah, he wouldn't say on the phone, which means he's on the inside, as usual. Now, who's in?
Not me.
I'll drive out to the desert with you, Turtle. Maybe hit the outlets along the way. But don't count on me parting with any cash.
Like I ever do.
And I can just envision Drama in the Bentley being like, yo, Turtle, we got to stop because I want to go to Hot Topic to pick up some graphic tees and go to Tommy Bahama and get some short sleeve button downs.
I got an Armani exchange out here. I need some more pleated pants.
Like his fashion sense is hideous.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's also shopping at outlets tells you exactly where he is with his shitting his pants commercial and his Viking Quest money. Like it's a good summation of his character at that point.
Although, and I'll attest to this, sometimes a little outlet trip can be a lot of fun.
Oh my God, absolutely. I used to crush the Nautica and Tommy Hilfinger's outlet in Westbrook, Connecticut when I was younger. I was in high school and thought I was the shit.
Yeah, you weirdly feel like you're like improving your wardrobe when really you're not when you go to an outlet.
I mean with the misstitched shirts.
Love an outlet. What was your favorite Ari Gold moment from this week?
Oh, that was a tough one, but there were a lot. I had a lot of quotes for him. If you don't mind giving me a couple, I would like to elaborate on it. The first one is when he visits Tom at Finish Line, and he walks through the mall while calling Lloyd, and he's carrying a bag of sneakers.
Yeah, he just like had to help the guy out in some way.
Exactly,
right?
and I'm just picturing Ari with like a pair of neon yellow and forest green like Air Force colorways. And one of the best parts of that scene too is that he is talking to Lloyd on the phone and goes, "Hey, I love a liar, but I hate a cheater," while checking out a girl who walks behind him.
Oh, I missed that little moment of him.
It is the subtlest glance in the world, but it is an incredible acting turn.
Piven is so good. He's so good at those little moments.
You cheated on Tom?
What?
You little fucking slut, Lloyd.
I don't know what you're talking about, Ari.
I just saw Tom.
He came to the office?
I went to his. He told me what you did. Lloyd?
I couldn't help it, Ari. It's been all the pressure. And I met this cute barista at the Coffee Bean who I never thought would like me, but he did like me. He did. But it was a one-time thing. I go to Starbucks now. But I ruined everything.
No, you didn't ruin everything, because I saved it.
Saved it? What do you mean?
You were with me Friday night at the Bourne Ultimatum premiere.
I was?
Get your ass back to the office within the hour, and I will stick to that story. Let me tell you something, Lloyd. I love a liar, but I hate a cheater. See ya.
Wait, Ari.
Yeah.
I can't believe you did this for me.
I like you, Lloyd. What can I say?
Say you'll let me take you and the wife to dinner. With Tom, a couple's dinner.
I don't like you that much. Get your ass back to the office and get that fucking dartboard down off your wall.
And this one, you're gonna have to give me a couple of minutes to just outline this.
Let's hear it.
At the beginning of the episode, Ari is talking to E, and he's talking about how much he helped him. He goes,
You're supposed to be in Dana Gordon's office this afternoon. I want you to talk to Vince again before I cancel. I parted the Red Sea for you, E. Don't piss on the sand.
So, Ari is Jewish.
Yeah.
But as we know from the Yom Kippur episode, he's not the most adherent follower in the world.
Sure, not if there's a deal to get done.
Exactly. And so I did a little bit of a deep dive to too much of a deep dive. And according to the sources that I looked up, the Israelites crossed the Red Sea at a point where it was about 2.5 miles away into modern-day Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay.
And they estimated it would take between 5 and 6 hours, assuming they had the supplies in tow, to make that journey. And I would argue at least a few people had to piss on the sand over that course of time.
Yeah.
So it's a classic Ari insult. It's a one or two liner, but at the same time, when you look at it, hey Ari, people probably pissed on the Red Sea while the Egyptians were chasing Moses.
As a good Catholic boy, I know that it took hours for them to walk through that parted Red Sea, and then they were in the desert for 40 years, so people were heavily pissing on the sand.
That's what I said when I was looking at it. No, they said 6 hours to actually cross the sea because I got pounded Catholic theology into my head as a child too.
Yep, same.
So it was just one of those things where it's just like, all right, Ari, I know you're making an aside. It's a snide comment. Like, you do what you do, but it's not supported by fact, Ari, and I'm kind of disappointed on you.
One thing Ari does says that I do think is supported by fact, and Connor, I mean, you don't have to go into your personal dating life, but he's kind of comforting Lloyd, and he says, the best way to get over a breakup is a distraction, and the best distraction is work. I kind of agree with that statement, to be honest with you, as someone who's been through quite a bit of breakups.
My last breakup was in college, so I can't really speak on that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, it's but based on the time I broke up in college and finished fifth of Tullamore Dew in a night, I would say that was the correct distraction for me.
Who besides Vince won this week's episode of Entourage?
This is going to be a little controversial.
Oh, can't wait.
It's Lloyd.
Oh, interesting. That is. He got away with murder, essentially. Not murder.
So everyone has gone into a coffee shop.
Oh, I like this take.
Everyone has fallen in love with a barista that they saw the minute they walked into the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And unless they ask your name and you're like, here's my number, and you're also incredibly attractive, you're not going to follow through with that.
And nothing's going to happen.
Right. But for Lloyd, he went into the coffee bean, he seduced the barista.
Incredible.
And he sealed the deal. Like, that's
good.
And I know he said he has to go to Starbucks from now on after that happened, but like that, he could probably get his gold card membership based on the amount of coffee he probably buys for the agency he works at, which is, again, another plus. But like for Lloyd to seal the deal with the barista, that's like, I mean, I think people dream of that, and you have to give him credit for, even though he's cheating. I don't encourage that, obviously, just like Ari doesn't, but it's still an impressive achievement.
100%. That is a great call, Connor. I was going to say Ari for kind of the obvious reasons. Like, you know, he convinces E to finally do the movie. He gets Lloyd and Tom back together. He really is kind of the hero. He's racing all over the place while just, you know, Turtle and fucking Drama are out in the desert dealing with the Jersey. But we might have to give it to Lloyd. That is such a good call. All right. Last two questions. This one's an important one. Was this an A-list episode, a B-list episode, or a D-list episode? And you can do pluses and minuses.
So again, like I said, I have not watched the entirety of Entourage since I was in college. But I would argue this is the very definition of an average episode of Entourage. So I'd call it B-list.
Okay.
It didn't scratch my celebrity cameo itch.
I know. 0 celebrity cameos this week.
Ari was too busy stressing out about Lloyd to like take a hiatus to devote enough time to coming up with eviscerating insults. And with the exception of Drama and Turtle getting hosed on the Sandy Koufax surgery, Vinny, E, and Billy, shocker, overcame their differences to strike a happy medium by the time the credits rolled.
Yeah, and Vinny has a $6 million movie offer for something he found out about 1 episode ago.
But he has a vision for the first act, so it's fine.
Yeah. I'm going to go a little deeper, only because I do this every week, and I'm giving this a D+. This is the least memorable episode of Season 4, which is a very underrated season of Entourage. Ronnie, as a character, is a good actor, but he's not that memorable. The Drama Turtle side plot goes nowhere, and while obviously a lot of those side plots go nowhere, it's one of those like Drama gets screwed over by his own hubris side plots. In this episode, it's not funny. It's like what you said before, like it ends on a dog dying and them spending too much money. It's not.
Oh, I didn't laugh a single time. Like there was no outburst. There was no, like My biggest disappointment, like, I look forward to the Ari just tearing someone apart. Didn't happen there, and it was, it underwhelmed me a little bit.
And sometimes Johnny Drama is like the MVP of the episode in terms of humor. Not this week. We've had some really good ones from him this week. Malibooty comes to mind just a couple of weeks ago. This is a good season, and this episode is one of the lower points of the season. So I'm giving it a D+. It's only uphill from here, or it's only downhill from here, I think is the phrase. But altogether, an unremarkable episode of the show. All right, Connor, last question. I asked it of all my first-time guests. Who are you in your own real-life entourage?
Okay, so I'm going to warn you, this is going to probably take a few minutes. But if you can bear with me, I think the analogy is going to be worth it.
All right, I can't wait.
So one of my best friends from college is essentially the Billy Walsh of my group chat.
Okay.
His high school transcript was his version of Queens Boulevard, where he got off, he started the honors program in college, and then realized his professors were like the suits that Billy hated. And he had a tendency to enjoy certain prescription stimulants, and he could not write a single essay without getting incredibly anal about the million edits he ended up doing, and suffered his own version of Medellin when he handed in a paper that was about 2,000 words, longer than the suggested word count. Turned it in 2 weeks late, and the professor straight up told him he was going to fail the class.
Wow.
And this was his final semester, and he ended up 1 credit short of graduating.
Damn.
And so he fell off the earth for like 6 months after we finished school, and suddenly emerged, sort of like Billy came back in the Entourage movie. In season 7, I apologize.
Yep.
And instead of becoming an ordained minister, he had just expanded his worldview by doing a bunch of psychedelics. And to support himself, he got some ethically questionable work by writing papers for college kids after already graduating.
So he got better at that then.
Yeah, and we actually ended up writing a pilot together for a series. But unlike Johnny's Bananas, we had zero connections to the industry. So yeah, I'd have to go with him.
So wait, I'm sorry. So throughout that whole thing, you're talking about your buddy. I think I'm putting 2 and 2 together here. Are you Billy Walsh?
Oh no, my buddy's Billy Walsh.
But who are you?
I'm his E.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so I'm the guy with over the time of my 8 years working in writing and entertainment and whatever the hell I'm doing, like I've known people who've known people who've known people. So if I made phone calls that lead to phone calls, like, oh, maybe I can get a thing made. But the reality is it's like anyone that's worked on any script knows that everything is bullshit and nothing happens.
Yeah.
So I'm the failed E of my group.
I thought it was really funny. I honestly thought earlier you were like, oh, my friend does all these drugs, wrote all these papers, and so that's who I am. And I was like, oh, so you're just doing the thing where you're...
I'm the Billy Walsh.
You're quitting yourself by saying it's your friend, like, asking for a friend type thing.
The quote-unquote friend.
I love it. That's good. Yeah, a lot of people say they're E, but that is a very unique and remarkable story about your buddy. How is he doing now? Is he still like in Billy Walsh land, essentially?
I have gone to 3 weddings with him in the past 3 years, and we do not ask what he's doing for a living. Just on principle. It's kind of those things you just don't want to know. So
I totally understand.
Yeah.
Connor, this was a lot of fun, man.
JR, thank you very much. Again, like I said, I just watched the Entourage movie, so if you ever need someone to reflect on the intricacies of Ronda Rousey showcasing her acting skills, feel free to call me, and I'd be happy to contribute.
100% will. Where can the listeners of Oh Yeah follow you, find you, etc.?
I am on Twitter on C Toole says stuff, Toole with an E, and I don't have Instagram because I don't have enough interesting pictures to share things. And read my work on BroBible.com. send me a DM on Twitter and tell me how much you hate my things, like so many people have done. And again, JR, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course, man. Let's do this again sometime in person, hopefully in New York.
Absolutely. I would. I'm going to keep watching the series now that I've got back into it. So
Got you hooked.
Hopefully be a scholar again.
Definitely. Thanks, man. Have a great rest of your week.
Same to you.